Are you new to stretching and slightly intimidated to get started? Well, you're in luck, because in this video, I'm going to show you 7 stretches that are perfect for beginners. So stay tuned. All right, so let's go over 7 mobility exercises or stretches that are perfect for beginners. And to be honest, is good for everyone, but if you're a beginner and you've heard the benefits of being mobile and flexible, but you just don't have a good place to start, this is perfect for you. So we're gonna hit a little bit of everything, starting from the ground up, and let's start off with some ankle circles. Start with both feet together and keep those feet planted on the ground. Bring your hands to your knees, and this is very easy. We're just gonna make big circles with our knees here, just like this. Might look a little silly, but what's going on in this is that we're getting some movement in our ankles, and it's very important. If stuff is wrong with our feet and our ankles, it could carry up to the rest of the body. You do not want that. So again, feet together, planted, hands on the knees, make some big circles. If you can only make circles this big, that's perfect. If you make nice big circles, it's even better. Ankle circles. Now let's go into the hamstring. We're gonna do a hamstring stretch standing. Place one leg out in front. I like to bring this other leg about a couple steps behind me, and I actually like to flare that foot out slightly. You're gonna turn your hip towards this front leg, and then nice and tall, chest out, and you're going to push your hip behind you. Imagine there's something right behind you, and you're trying to bump it over with your butt. So from here, chest out, leaning back, bending this knee, and this leg stays straight. And I feel an awesome stretch in this front hamstring. Again, stand up nice and tall, turn towards this front leg, hips back, front leg straight, and you get a great stretch on that hamstring. It's one of my favorite ones to do, and it's so easy. All right, so now let's go into our hip flexor stretch. I'm gonna bring out the pad, and we'll go into that hip flexor stretch. If you talk to anyone, you probably hear all the time, you know, my hip flexors are tight, hip flexors are tight. So this is a great stretch. It's one of the classic hip flexor stretches that you can do, and let's go over it. One knee on the ground, the other leg is going to be out in front. And in this position, I want you to squeeze the butt. What that's going to do is help us prevent us from arching in our low back when we do this stretch. So when we squeeze the butt, we can target that hip flexor just a little bit more. So squeeze the butt in this position, and then some people might even feel it here, but let's squeeze it, and then all you're gonna do is maintain that tightness in the bum, and then you're going to shift forward. And you should feel a good stretch, especially right here and maybe into the quads. So again, this is a great stretch for the hip flexor. You'll probably see it a lot like this sometimes, where we get a lot of low back arch, and that's okay, but if we really want to emphasize that stretch on that hip flexor, squeeze the butt, keep it tight, and then shift forward, getting that stretch. All right, so now let's go into a little bit more of the hips. We're gonna hit a 90-90 position, but we're gonna do it moving. We're gonna sit down with our legs nice and wide. Bend the knees, hands behind your back for support, and then we're going to drop the knees to the ground. Why do we call it 90-90? Because now our legs are at 90-degree angles. Hands behind the back, and then over to the other side. There's a progression, a slightly harder version where we actually take our arms out in front and we transition from side to side. This is awesome too. But if you're starting, let's start off with our arms behind us for a little bit of support and see if you can do that first. So side to side. So that's great. Lower body, we hit ankles, we hit hamstrings, we hit, what else did we hit? The hip flexors, the hip rotators, because we're rotating our hip. Now let's go into our upper body. Let's hit that cat-cow. Probably see this in a lot of yoga videos and yoga classes. And we're gonna start with knees under hips, hands under shoulders. In this position, we're going to tuck our chin and round our back. And then we're gonna reverse a motion. Look up and drop the chest. And from this angle, you can see how my spine is moving, and it's a very gentle way to mobilize the spine in both directions. And that is one of my favorite stretches of all time, favorite mobility exercises of all time. So that's a cat-cow. And now let's go into something for the pecs. A lot of the time we're kind of rounded forward, sitting down, maybe at a desk all day. What happens is this pec starts to get short, it gets tight, so we need to open that back up. I like to use the wall or door frame. Door frame's probably a little bit better, and work on the pec stretch. You can do this standing, but since I'm already on the ground, let's do it kneeling. We're gonna bring our arm and elbow about in level or in line with the shoulder. In this position here, we're on the wall, and then all we're gonna do is shift forward and away from the wall. I'm getting a great stretch on the pec here. So again, elbow about shoulder level, maybe slightly higher. Pull the shoulder down and back, and then shift forward and slightly away. And we get some good length in that pec. So that's our 6th stretch. And now let's go into our last one. And let's do a little bit something for kind of the upper back, neck area. And let's hit that trap stretch, the trapezius muscle, which is right up here, runs all the way down your back. I like to just sit down on the floor. You can sit in a chair. Place one hand behind the back and pull your shoulder down and back. You can place your arm to the side, but I kind of like it behind my back for this one. Creates a little bit more tension. And then take your opposite hand, place on the other side of your head, and then you're just going to gently pull your head to the shoulder. So from here, the shoulder is down and back, and then we're going to pull slightly here. And you should be able to get a nice, good stretch down the neck here, and probably down your shoulder as well. Boom. Feels nice and good. Alternate sides. Again, same thing on the other side. Getting a good stretch. A little bonus here. If you turn the head and pull down, you'll get a little bit more stretch in the levator scapulae. And that's another muscle where it gets super tight when we're sitting all the time. So you can do it this way. You can rotate the head and pull down towards you, or down towards the chest a little bit. And we hit a little bit of a different portion of the neck and back muscles. And that is it. 7 mobility exercises and stretches that are perfect to get you started in your stretching and mobility journey. So if you like this video, make sure you like the video. Comment down below. I'm going to do a whole bunch more videos, but give me some ideas on what you want to see in the future, and then also subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.